Hey, Dallas. Hey, Cowboys, you just finished your game. We'd like to inform you that you have been officially eliminated from the playoffs because you are crap. And my team is a little less crappier. Oh, man. Props to all the Giant fans out there. You know, you guys tried. Daniel Jones put up a really good effort. Saquon Barkley, that 68-yarder was a hell of a run, but, you know, when it mattered most, like every team, like every divisional team, the past 4 weeks, they have not been able to rise to the occasion. They have not been able to beat the Philadelphia Eagles, and therefore, 4 games later, after being 5-7, we are NFC East Champions for the second time in 3 years. It's our turn to say that, Dallas. Screw you guys. You guys have all the talent in the world, and you're going to blame it on coaching. Y'all weren't playing to win the division this year. You guys have been playing the last 2 seasons for money. Ezekiel Elliott having a great season last year. DeMarcus Lawrence having a great season. Prescott having a great season this year. Yes, the stats say one thing, but the wins say another. Mediocrity, and that is what the Cowboys are. And we're barely eclipsing not mediocrity. It's 9-7, but we played not for money. We didn't play to get contracts. We played to win the division. We played to host a postseason game. 2019 NFC East Champs. Props, big props to my boy Carson Wentz for breaking 3 Eagles records this one game. He eclipsed 4,000 yards passing for the very first time ever in Eagles history. We've never had a 4,000-yard passer. Not only that, but he broke Donovan McNabb's record for most passing yards at that same time. And, of course, most completions in an NFL season as an Eagles quarterback. Props to him. Great game, no turnovers, 1 touchdown pass, which was a beauty to Joshua Perkins. Props to him for stepping up. In assists to Dallas Goedert for the fallen Zach Ertz, obviously. But Miles Sanders as well fell with an injury. Brandon Brooks fell with an injury. We didn't have Jalen Mills or Zach Ertz. A lot of injuries. We all know this. We gained a couple of this game. But we had some people step up today. Sidney Jones with the pick stepped up big time. Cravon LeBlanc, my boy, stepped up big time. Fletcher Cox stepping up big time. Malcolm Jenkins stepping up. The defense minus the one big play that the Giants had, which was the 68-yarder for Saquon. And let's be real, he was a non-factor up until that point. And then after that, didn't do anything else. That was the only play that he was going to get. That was the only thing that Saquon was going to get, and it's Saquon. So I wasn't surprised. But after that and before that, the defense played pretty well. Offense struggled sometimes. We lost Greg Ward for a series. He came back. We're all good. Boston motherfucking Scott, bro. That kid is a player. Second time against the Giants. He had some big plays today. He was dancing, having some fun out there. Reminded me of a little bit of Shady with the way he's dancing. But overall, he's a Darren Sproles 2.0. And I'm excited that we managed to get this guy off the practice squad of all things. And he is going to be a starter moving forward. Next man up, hell yes. All in all, the Eagles have won the division. Once again, Carson Wentz played all 16 games, and he's going to the postseason, baby. All the arguments that he can't stay healthy, or that he isn't clutch, or that he hasn't played a postseason game, your argument's invalid. By next week, he will have played a postseason game. He's been clutch all month of December. And look at where we are now, atop the NFC East as champions. Let's see what y'all been saying. Let's see what's been happening. I'm pumped up, guys. Haven't worn a beanie and a shirt for an entire game in a long time. My head's really, really hot. But let's see what you guys have been saying here. Go Birds, NFC East champs. Who do you want, the 49ers or the Seahawks? I don't care. I believe the Eagles can beat both of these teams. We came close, nearly beating the Seahawks earlier on. In November, we were a touchdown away from beating them. So, and I think the 49ers, they're good, but I don't think that they're as good as they have claimed to be. They haven't played anybody too great outside of the Seahawks, and they lost to the Seahawks. And the Packers, they blew out the Packers. We, too, beat the Packers, and not just beat them, we beat them at Lambeau, which is a hard thing to do. Very hard thing to do. Can't believe they pulled this off. Whew. Trust me, I can't believe it either. Dallas Giants Redskins bow down to the NFC East champs. It is good to be back, right? It is good to be back on top. Hell yeah, bro. It's such a good feeling. I was scared after Saquon. I wasn't scared. Okay. When Saquon scored that touchdown, I was like, shit. It was going to happen eventually. But I have family here. My aunt and my uncle and my little cousin, they're all here today to watch the game with us. It was the most people that we've had at our house in a long time watching the game with us. It's a big time game, right? Despite the people we're playing, of course, it's a big time game, and they were all like, "Oh well, that sucks. The game is, it's tied again." All that. I was like, the defense will rebound. They're gonna find a way to rebound. Offense scores a game-leading field goal, and then we strip sack, fumble, and recover said fumble to get us back on top by 10. So at the end of the day, I had that feeling that we were going to manage, and we did on defense. It was just one big play. It was scary, but at the end of the day, I had hope, and that's the biggest thing. Last year, I gave up hope. Midway through the year, we managed to make a run for the playoffs. Ended abruptly, but who knows what would have happened had we not dropped that one pass. But we made it. Year before, never gave up hope. We won the goddamn Super Bowl, as I predicted in the summer of 2017. I predicted that the Eagles, yes, would win the Super Bowl. Right now, obviously, we're not going to go that far yet. I mean, because of all the injuries and who is in front of us as far as on top of seed 1, 2, and 3. Those are some pretty good teams, record-wise, stat-wise. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. And the Vikings and Seahawks, they are no joke either. They're no pretender. The Vikings might be the biggest pretender out of all of them because, let's face it, they couldn't beat the Packers twice. They struggled this season against some pretty good teams, against the Cowboys. They did have their way against us, but, again, on the road, injuries. We struggled with a lot of teams this year, but we still managed to find a way to make it to where we are. Can't deny that. So this team is resilient, and I love that. I love the fight that these young kids brought to the table to help out Carson, to help out Ertz, especially when Ertz went down. Sanders, that kid was a stud. He still is a stud. Ankle injury, let's hope that he's okay for next week. We're coming back home, though, so I feel like some people like Lane Johnson should be back. Deshaun Jackson won't be back until the divisional round if we make it there. We're not going to talk about that yet until we know, one, who we're playing, and two, once we get to that game, whether we win or lose it. But, again, that's in the future. This game, right now, we won it. We managed to do what we had to do, and here we are, NFC champs, bro. NFC East champs, and oh, man. Eagles look like they can beat anybody. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel like with the way the team has come together, with the young kids, the way the defense has rallied the last 2 weeks after losing big time to the Dolphins, after struggling against the Redskins the following week, I agree. I can see, and the Giants as well that week too. The way that they played the last 2 weeks, they have shown to me that they can do it. And it's similar to last year where we saw them struggle, but when we got down to December, once we got down to the real games that truly mattered, do or die, you saw Cravon LeBlanc. You saw Avonte Maddox. You saw the backups make plays, step up against people like the Rams and Chicago, and for the most part against the Saints in the divisional round. You saw what you saw what we're seeing right now. Granted, it's against the Giants and the Redskins. Doesn't matter. Divisional games are not the same as other games against better opponents because it's so much more personal. You see them twice a year. It's much different, and especially in the atmosphere. Do or die. Carson has never had this type of experience before, and he's 4 for 4 in do or die games so far. Yes, not playoff game, but still. Imagine if we had our starters. Yeah. Imagine, not even that. Imagine if we just had Deshaun Jackson. We'd be unstoppable. Who's going to cover who if we had Deshaun Jackson with the way Greg Ward's playing? And Scott and Sanders. Not to mention Jordan Howard is getting back too. It's like, imagine if we just had Deshaun Jackson, how much better this year would have gone. We wouldn't have lost to the Falcons or the Lions. We would have fought better against the Patriots and the Seahawks and the Vikings. We wouldn't have gotten blown out in Dallas. There was so much that could have happened that didn't because Jackson got hurt. And it hurts. And I'm hoping that we make it back to the divisional round to show off what we can truly do with him back in the lineup at least. At least. But again, that's 2 weeks away. We're focusing now on tonight. And I'm not going to stream for too long because I actually do want to watch the 49ers and Seahawks game. I want to see who we're playing, and then I'll talk about who we're playing, obviously, and start to hype that up as well because playoff season, man. 3 years running. I'm so hyped for this one. It's going to be so much fun. Carson in his first playoff game. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. I have belief, and I have hope. You guys should too. There's no reason why you should write this team off. Once you're in the playoffs, once you make it there, there's no writing anybody off. Anything can happen. It doesn't matter who you're playing or what your record is. When you're in the playoffs, it's a completely different atmosphere, and we're seeing a similar atmosphere in the do-or-die games. Carson in December has been on fire. He's been great. Let's see if we can carry that into the new year, into the postseason. It's going to be it's just going to be fun. That's all I got to say. Oh, let me see what you guys have been saying. Enjoy the offseason. Dallas, New York, and Washington bow to the new king of the East. Hell fucking yeah. You're liking our wide receivers. These injuries are unbelievable. Seriously, I don't remember a season this bad. Yeah, because I thought last year was worse than 2017, and 2017 was really bad, and we won a goddamn Super Bowl. But this year has been terrible, and we still make it. We still manage to beat the teams that are healthier. The Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys. It doesn't matter what their record is. They are healthier. They are more talented, and we're beating them with our backups and practice squad kids. That's saying that just says it all. That truly says it all. And I don't think I can't say anything else about that, at least. Next man up. Everybody stepped up. Eagles did it. You're hype. Remember I said the Eagles needed to try Greg Ward Jr. and he can read defenses being a former quarterback? Hell yeah. I remember when we signed him on the practice squad in 2017, I'm like, this kid could be big. I said that about Corey Clement, and Corey Clement's out here catching touchdown passes in the Super Bowl. Imagine what Greg Ward could do. Here we are seeing it. Greg Ward's caught a game winner. He's been the reason why on third downs we're converting these big-time third down passes. But, yo, what about Dallas Goedert and that toe drag catch, bro? That catch was crazy. Like, you don't see tight ends making that catch. Like, you don't ever see any tight end making that catch. Against the Redskins, you saw him make that one-handed catch. And now this week you're seeing that. Like, Dallas Goedert, if he wasn't overshadowed by Ertz, he could be an elite tight end as well. And it's such a great backup to have. It's such a great player to have. It's crazy. And Joshua Perkins is no joke either. He's a little bit older, but he's big, he's hard to break down, and he's got good hands. And you saw that on that touchdown. That throw by Wentz was a pretty throw across the field. That ball, it was like a 24-yard touchdown catch, but that ball traveled at least 40 yards in the air, going from there to there. Like, it was a good throw. Dallas Goedert, Boston Scott, and Perkins, yes, big-time names of today. They were really great. I hope that Miles Sanders is okay. I hope that Ertz can manage to come back next week with the injuries on offense. I feel like Lane Johnson's going to be back. If anything, I think out of all of them, I think him and Sanders are going to be back. Ertz is a big question mark because his injury is actually very severe, so we'll see what happens there. But you saw tonight Goddard and Perkins, and you still had Richard Rodgers there in case you needed him too. They can ball out. They can step up, and they did today. And not only that, but we saw number 16, Burnett. I know the one catch was called back. That was to Davis, but the play after that was like a 25-yard catch that was running towards the right sideline. He made a diving catch. It didn't even need to breadbasket. It was all with the hands, and it was such a good catch. And that kid's been on our practice squad, and it's like 2 receptions for 48 yards. Where was this guy at all season? Practice squad. You look at the kids that we have on our practice squad. You wonder why they're not playing with Carson right now. They want to. They show more energy than Aguilar and Alshon. They don't show the same energy as these guys. They don't look as hungry as these guys do. And even Deshaun Jackson being the oldest one, he has all the energy because he wants to win. He hasn't won, and he wanted to play with Carson. He wanted to bring another championship here. He wanted to win another one. And that's what we're missing with Jackson, and that's what we're getting with Ward and Arcega-Whiteside and all the young new guys off our practice squad. And that's why I'm loving it. I'm really loving it, and I guess I can understand why Howie didn't go after anybody in the draft. He must have known something about these kids that are coming off the practice squad. But oh man, I'm so pumped up, y'all. You don't even know. This has been a really good game. Lane Johnson needs to come back. Sit on that couch, blow boys. Ouch. Tell him to just please. I'm liking our wide receivers over our starters. I agree. 100%. How about them Cowboys? I cannot wait for tomorrow morning, undisputed, because you had some sense of hope. I know you Cowboy fans had hope because you're looking at yourself. You're beating the crap out of the Redskins, the Eagles. They're struggling early with the Giants. You're thinking, oh, we can make it. 8-8 pride. We can do it. Nope. And I cannot wait for tomorrow to hear Skip Bayless being like, my quarterback is a warrior. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, 44 points. In an effort to keep this team afloat. This quarterback, my quarterback, is the only player on this team. I can't wait for Shannon to be like, Skip! It was a meaningless game. They were not going to make the playoffs. Yo, Cowboys are not in the playoffs. I cannot wait. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait. All the Cowboy fans right now are crawling back into their holes, crying, just so sad and devastated. Your team couldn't do it. Your team, you had it on. You started out 3-0. You had the division in your hands on a silver platter, and you just stood there and let the Eagles swipe it away. Worn and torn, wounded to all hell. You let them take it from you and just said, I can't get over it, man. Dallas Cowboys choked. They are nothing but a mediocre embarrassment. You hear it talked about by everybody in the media. This team hasn't done anything since the 90s. They've only won 2 playoff games. Dak Prescott, he's asking for so much money for what? 1 playoff game in 5 seasons. 2 NFC championships, NFC East championships, but more playoff losses than victories. I'm sorry, but 1-2 is worse than 0-0. Okay, if you're comparing Wentz and Dak, that's the truth. And we'll see how Wentz does this upcoming Saturday or Sunday. We don't know when it's gonna be, but hey, I got a lot of hope. You guys should too. What's the time now? 8 o'clock. Unless if anything else is going to be said, I'm going to continue to enjoy this victory with my family and watch the 49ers and Seahawks see who we're facing. So, unless if anything else has got to be said, say it. If not, I'm going to be heading out and letting you guys enjoy your night as well, because goddamn, this was a good game. This was a fun night. What a game. What a game. Alshon is a rat and he will be gone. You're goddamn right he will be. I don't want Alshon or Nelson Aguilar back. I want Deshaun back, but I want him to be healthy. I don't know if he can be healthy, but again, here's hoping, right? Deshaun Jackson will be back in the second playoff game if we make it. You're right. You're right. Trade Jeffrey and keep some of the young guys. Heck yes, I agree. Man, I'm feeling it, but I'm also exhausted because I've been... Out of all the practice squad players we have, which one has stepped up the most? Greg. Okay. Between these 2 guys, Greg Ward, Boston Scott, without a single doubt. Okay. Those 2 have stepped up in such a big way. And you can put in, he's not a bench warmer or he's not a practice squad, but Miles Sanders as well. Rookie guy, thrusted into the starting position because of an injury to Jordan Howard. And you saw what he did before he got hurt today. It's insane. Browns just fired their head coach. They just fired Kitchens? Wow. Odell Beckham Jr. must be running laps around Cleveland like, hell yeah. He must be running laps. Like, thank the Lord. Let's see who they bring in, though. And I know Doug Marrone in Jacksonville, he's going to be released as well. So I wonder what they're going to do there. They have a quarterback situation now with Minshew and Foles. Foles is getting all that money. Minshew is a rookie who surprised people with how well he played despite the record. Played pretty well this year. We'll see what happens there. Carson Wentz, 4,000-yard franchise history. He broke 3 records today. He broke 3 records. Most completions in Eagles franchise history in a total season. Broke Donovan McNabb's record of most passing yards, and then became the only quarterback ever to throw for 4,000 in Eagles history. So you can't tell anybody that he's not legit. Because let's face it, that stat alone, Donovan McNabb didn't do that when he had Deshaun Jackson or Terrell Owens. Carson Wentz didn't have anything. He didn't even have Zach Ertz, and he managed to throw for 300 today and break that record. What more do you want from the guy? Not only that, but he went from 5-7 to 9-7. He did what Foles did, but better last year compared to this year. He did so much better. Like, I don't get it, dude. Yo, Philly special, how you been, bro? I'm happy as hell right now. You don't even know. I'm super happy. Let's go, baby. I'm lit right now. Very relatable. Bet a lot of Cowboy fans are happy right now because it's almost a guarantee that Jason Garrett is gone. Very true, but then again, you never know. never know. You never really know because people have been associating this season for the Cowboys with bad luck, which is bullshit. Okay, their players did not play well enough when they had to against the Eagles, the Saints, the Vikings. I can go on the list. Okay, at the end of the day, they didn't do good enough, especially against us in the do or die situation. That's it. That's the tea. Sip the tea right there because that's it. It's done. It's done. They didn't do good enough. They didn't win the division. Easy as that. Eagles had more heart with less talent. And again, talent does not mean everything. They say it all the time I believe it was DeMarcus Lawrence who said talent without direction is nothing. But you guys do have direction. You have to become the NFC champs again. NFC East champs. What happened to that? What happened to clinching the division? Being the first one since the Eagles back in 2003 to do it back-to-back years. What happened to that goal? Where did it go? Oh, you guys got your money. Right, that's it. Carson Wentz don't care about money. None of the people on this team care about money. Malcolm Jenkins asked for a new deal. He hasn't bitched about it since the offseason, and you saw him making plays today. Like, he wants to win. It's more about the win than it is money. Of course, you get paid for this game, but when it comes down to it, you actually have to play up to what you want. Dak Prescott wants $40 million guaranteed. You better win a playoff game. You better clinch the division. Oh, you didn't? Well, we got to rethink our strategy about going about signing you because that's what's happening right now with Jerry Jones. He did the smart thing. Even though he's going to have to pay more eventually, right now, Dak could look at other options. He's on his final year of his contract. And you look at Wentz. Wentz got signed up this year before Goff, before anybody else did. That could have raised the cap even higher. Now Dak is screwed, and now what's he going to do? He's going to try and complain more and try to get more money from Jerry Jones. When you went 8-8, mediocrity, get out of here, dude. Wentz is the guy you want to bring people to, and to win games. Yeah, that's what I've been saying. I love Nick Foles, but he hasn't played a full season ever in his career. He's the Super Bowl MVP. He brought us our only Super Bowl, yes. But, bro, he hasn't played a full 16 games. Carson's done it twice. He's done it twice. Nick Foles never did it. Never. He's either been hurt or benched or coming through an injury to the starting quarterback to help bail him out. That's it. You haven't seen Nick Foles lead a team through from September to December. And people wanted Foles to stay. Do you think Foles, with the guys that are on this roster right now due to injury, do you think that he would have done what Carson had done in December? Hell no. All right, I'm going to answer the question for you guys. Hell no, he would not have. That's the truth. That is the truth. I love Nick Foles. All right, I love him. I said it myself 5 years ago. He is going to be the guy to win us a Super Bowl, and he did. Not the way I expected him to, but he did. I was right about that. But he is not the quarterback of now for this team. That's that. Dallas did all that just to see us ruin their dreams. Fact, right? They ran the scoreboard up. They had Dak throw for 4 touchdowns and everything. Zeke ran for 100. Did nothing. Nothing at all. Your people heard that they want to play for Eagles because of Wentz. That's the whole reason why Alshon Jeffrey came here. Alshon Jeffrey came to Philadelphia because he wanted to play with the young quarterback that was Carson Wentz. And he had the best season, one of the best seasons of his career in, winning the Super Bowl in his first year with Carson. Even though Carson got hurt halfway or late through the season. I mean, come on. Like, Wentz is the reason why you got there. You can't give all the credit to Foles, and that's what all the idiotic fans of this fan base do. They give Foles all the credit because he played in the playoffs. Yes, he did. But Foles didn't get you to that point. He didn't give you that opportunity. Wentz did, and that's why you look at Wentz now and what he's doing. What's Foles doing? He's on the bench in South Florida. 5-11, doing nothing. That's what he's doing. And I love you, Foles. You're a great person, and you did a lot for us, but let's face it. Foles versus Carson. Carson wins easy. I've been saying that for years. Carson is my QB. And finally, he'll get his first playoff run. Hell yes. Carson, ever since we drafted him, bro, I knew he was the guy. Okay? You watch the stats. He didn't play much in college. We know that. We know. But you watch him play, you watch how he carries himself. He's a true leader. There's people out there, Max Kellerman, who question the leadership, and that's the reason why people like Alshon and Nelson Aguilar don't catch footballs. They don't catch footballs because they are mediocre, because they don't want to win anymore. They just want their money. They just want money. That's all it is. Alshon reduced his contract a little bit, but he still got this multi-million-dollar deal with us that he's not even playing good enough to be worthy of having compared to Wentz, compared to what he's been putting himself through the last 3 years. Wentz has heart. Yes, I agree. No matter what people say about him, he shows that he wants to win and that he will do whatever he has to win. He threw a touchdown on a bum knee against the Rams to give the Eagles a lead before going out and figuring out he tore his ACL. Literally, he played like 3 snaps before he walked down the field with that torn ACL. Nick Foles didn't do that with his broken collarbone. No, just saying. And again, it's no disrespect to Foles, but it's just towards these people, these fans of this team that say that Foles is the better quarterback. He's not, okay? He did what Wentz most likely, in my opinion, would have done or definitely could have done, can do in that situation. This is why Carson was the second pick. I want to applaud and point out this comment because, Mr. Tyler, you are right. This is why Carson was a second-round pick and Dak was a fourth-round pick. Or Dak was, he was what, a third? When was that? I don't even know when Dak was. He was a third or fourth. Either way. Why do you think Carson was a second-round pick or second pick overall? The number 2 pick. Oh, first and foremost, I think the Rams messed up with Jared Goff, and you saw this year. He was a turnover machine. Threw a lot of picks this year. And not only that, but the Rams barely squeaked out a 9-7 record and are not making it back to the postseason after making it to the Super Bowl. Says a lot about Jared Goff, right? Dak Trashcott does not deserve that money. No, he does not. He deserves a contract, yes. I would say he deserves like $20 million, but 40? But 50? Pfft, no, he does not. He should have taken his $30 million. He should have taken that with a grain of salt and be like, whatever, fine. Because guess what? You're getting your money. You're getting paid for what you've done. You've won 2 NFC East championships. That's worthy of a contract extension, I would say. Carson's done the same thing, and he got his already. Dak didn't get his because he's not up to par. Giants thought that big win against the Redskins meant something more than it did. Oh, for real. They looked at that and they said Daniel Jones is like the next Peyton Manning or something. You know, that he's going to be the face of the Big Apple, right? No, the Jets are going to be the first team to make it to the playoffs. As far as the New York teams go, the Jets will make it before the Giants will. That's a fact. The Jets are a better team. They got a better running back. They got a better quarterback, in my opinion. They just need some better defense, maybe a wide receiver, a little bit of O-line help, and they can do it. They can do it. And Adam Gase needs to get fired. But other than that, the Jets are going to be they're going to be in the playoffs before the Giants. That's a fact. Jerry Jones is sick. Hell yeah, dude. Jerry Jones is just upset. He's beside himself. He's sad. Kitchens has been fired. Saw that coming. Let's be honest. Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham did not get along with him whatsoever. And it shows. Ah, man. That was good. Dak will more likely get tagged. Yeah. He'll get tagged. Because of how much the quarterback cap has gone up over the past year with Russell Wilson, Rodgers, Jared Goff, Carson. The cap has skyrocketed so much over the past year and a half that he's going to get paid more than what he's asking. Or at least that would be the deal, but Jerry Jones is not going to have it. So they're gonna tag him because they don't want to deal with that cap, especially with the amount of cap that they have. I'm not scared of the Packers or the 49ers. No. If you look at the NFC right now, you run down the list. Let's go down the list, all right, together. Number 1 seed as of right now is either the 49ers or the Seahawks, right? And same with the 5. Those two are battling out for it in like 10 minutes. So you look at those two and you say, Seattle's defense is not that great. That's number one. I feel like you can run on that defense really well. I feel like play action passes are going to be the death of them. I feel like a much better balanced and more brought together of a team can beat them. I think can the Packers beat the Seahawks? Maybe, but I don't think so. The 49ers will figure that out now because they came close the first time. They got another game to prove that they can beat them or not. The Saints, I feel like, are the biggest threat because the past 3 years have been more the same as far as their play and who they have. Michael Thomas is one of the, if not the best wide receiver in all of football. Alvin Kamara is no joke. He's a really good wide receiver, or running back and wide receiver. They got Latavius Murray back there as well. He's a good run right down your throat kind of guy. And then you got Drew Brees at the helm. I mean, you can never underestimate them. You also got Jared Cook, who's been killing it. Actually, no, Jared Cook's been killing it in San Fran, right? Or no, he is in New Orleans. Scratch that, yeah. They got Jared Cook as well. And I'm forgetting one other person. Ted Ginn Jr. That's the guy. They got some weapons in New Orleans. That's an offense not to sleep on, but that defense, I feel like between the 49ers and the Saints, their biggest issue is their defense. I feel like they'll be able to put up points, but that defense won't be able to back them up. Packers got a little bit of a better defense compared to their offense, but they struggle. They struggle a lot, and you saw it today against the Lions. Aaron Rodgers was off all game long, and you saw people getting hit more than they should have been. All for what? A potential bye? I mean, Aaron Jones could have gotten really hurt today. He was lucky that he didn't get hurt that badly. And then what else? The Vikings? I'm not counting the Eagles yet. We already know what the Eagles are. The Eagles can beat any of these teams. It's just a matter of how well they play. But the Vikings, I think the Vikings are a joke. I feel like the Vikings, in my honest opinion, are not as good as anybody else in the conference, except for obviously talent-wise on paper, Eagles, and record-wise, Eagles. Right? That makes the most sense. 10-6 or 11-5. I don't know if they beat the Bears today. Wouldn't surprise me if they did. The Bears are trash, but still, you look at the Vikings and you're like, okay, whatever. I'm not afraid of Kirk Cousins. He can light you up. I mean, he already lit us up earlier this year, but that was a different team. That was a more broken team in the middle of a 3-game losing streak. I mean, you look at now, the teams now. You don't look at, okay, the Bears won, so they're 10-6. Thank you, Logic TV. So 10-6, better by us than one game. Wow. But you look at this conference. There are a lot of teams that look convincing, and there are a lot of teams that are question marks. Eagles being one of them. But this conference, I feel like, should win the Super Bowl. I feel like one of the teams should win the Super Bowl. Definitely, I agree. I agree with that. I think the Eagles are definitely a different team now, way different. I feel like the confidence is boosted up. The entirety, the way the team plays, the way they carry themselves, they have definitely matured and are coming together. Similar to last year, but in a much more different sense, I feel. I feel like this is, because this year I feel like we face some much more adversity. Yes, the Patriots don't get a bye week, and they're going to suffer. They're going to suffer at the hands of the Tennessee Titans. Mark my words. Tennessee Titans will upset them, and if they don't, then I will eat crow. But I'm just being hopeful because I don't want the Patriots in the Super Bowl again. Please, dear Lord, no. Please, have mercy on all our souls. Don't let the Patriots be back in the Super Bowl. Please. I don't want it. No one wants it. Not even the people in Boston want it. They don't care anymore. It's happened so much. 9 appearances in not even 20 years. Please don't make it a 10th one in 20. Please. I'm begging you. Oh my God. Let Lamar or Patrick, please. Let Lamar Jackson or Patrick Mahomes make it. Don't let Tom Brady do it again. Please. Ryan Tannehill, please. Beat them. Oh, dear Lord. Patriots fans right now are on suicide watch? Yeah, because they don't got a bye week. Bro, our IR/injury list is gross. It really is. I won't deny that. But we should be getting some people back. We should be getting some people back. At least that's what I'm hoping for. Like Lane Johnson. Zach Ertz is up in the air. He was questionable today, but his injury is really, it's a lot more significant than we thought. Because the rib actually messed up something, or didn't mess up, but it had a little bit of an impact on his kidney. That's not just an injury that takes you out of a playoff game. That takes you out of life. That's deadly, okay? Anything happening with your kidneys. You saw what happened to Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck missed an entire year because of his shoulder, but the kidney issue that he had the year prior kept him out even longer, because that's bad. That's really bad. So I don't think it's as severe as it sounds, and I don't think it isn't as severe at the same time. I feel like it's very severe, but I don't think it's excruciatingly bad. I don't think it's terrible. So again, we'll see what happens. We'll see how he feels. 2 weeks of rest can definitely help him out. We'll see what happens there. Miles Sanders, I'm hoping that he just has like an ankle sprain or something. I'm really hoping so, because we're going to need him. Jordan Howard is back. He only played one snap and he didn't even get the ball because we're being careful with him because he's been gone for so long. But he should be good to go for next week, and I feel like he's going to get some of the workload. But Boston Scott's going to be leading the charge if Miles Sanders isn't able to. So I'm feeling running back wise we should be fine. Re-sign Howard, definitely. I think you found your trio. I really do. I think you found your trio for the future. Howard, Miles Sanders is definitely your future back, but then you got your Darren Sproles like in Boston Scott, and you got your bruiser. You got your guy that can run through the tackles and make people miss by just running right through them, like your LeGarrette Blount 2017 type of style running, but with a little bit more swift and speed than LeGarrette Blount and Jordan Howard. I feel like they definitely should re-sign him, but we'll see. That's an offseason thing. Need to let Howard get some more cap. Yeah, I agree. And I feel like this year in the offseason as well, and of course we're not talking about the offseason because our offseason hasn't begun yet, but the Eagles could potentially go after some wide receivers as far as trading for them, like AJ Green. AJ Green's one of them, and then a couple other guys. I'll have to make a video on that in the offseason once we're there, because we're not in the offseason yet, but AJ Green's on our eyes. You know, he's there. And yes, Corey Clement will be getting back. I don't know if it's worth having him back. He'll probably go to the practice squad because of how much of an impact Boston Scott and Miles Sanders have had, surprisingly, due to the situations this year. I don't think we're going to cut him. I don't think we're going to let him walk. I think Clement should go to the practice squad because he's been battered with injuries the last 2 seasons after a really promising rookie year. He hasn't been able to do anything since, so we'll see what happens. I love Corey Clement, but we'll see. Boston Scott and Miles Sanders have really turned heads, so I don't know about that. What time is it? It's 8:18. Okay. I'll answer a few more, or talk to you guys for a few more minutes about whatever you guys want to talk about, and then I'm going to head out to watch the game. So come at me with some comments. Let's see what you guys have been saying before I head out. He said on his Instagram live, he said he'll be back. Okay. I'll take that, definitely. I'm watching tonight's game. I feel like a player watching film, right? Because we're studying both teams. Because, one, we don't know who we're playing. And once we do, we're going to be studying that other team even more. Like their highlights and stuff throughout the year. And I don't know who I want to play. I feel like we can beat both the 49ers and the Seahawks, especially if they're coming to Philly. What's my prediction? Oh. I don't know who I want to win. But I'll say this much. I think the Seattle Seahawks are going to win by a score of 31-27. I don't know if I want that to happen, though. That's the thing. I don't know who I want. Because I feel like, again, we could beat both of these two teams because they're coming here. And we're a much different animal here than we are on the West Coast. And I'm so glad we don't have to go to the West Coast. Especially if we beat one of these two teams. Because Packers, we've already been to Lambeau. We've already beaten them with the worst team in my eyes. With the way our players played back then. And then the Saints, that's just down south in a dome. There should be no issue there, minus just how loud it gets in the Superdome. And then there's Minnesota, but I don't think we're going to play Minnesota because they are either going to win and play, because they're the 6th seed. They'll be playing the number 1 seed, whoever that is. And if we win, we'll be playing the number 2 seed, which as of right now, I believe it is the Packers. So as of right now, if we were to win, and this is all hypothetical, we're just projecting, right? If we were to win against 49ers/Seattle, we would be going to Lambeau. And if the Vikings beat the whoever third, you know what? We'll talk. I'll save this for another video. I'm like, my brain's all over the place. Let's see what you guys are saying before I head out. I want to see that Seahawks rematch. What happens to Nelson? And I think Nelson Aguilar is gone. I think he's out. I think he's out of here. And I hope he is, because I don't want him here anymore. All right, this is the last thing that I'll talk about. Actually, let me see what else you guys said. Okay, yeah. Describe this season in one word. I'm trying to think of a word now. One word to describe this season. Roller coaster. I feel like that's a really good way to describe the past 3 seasons. Injury. That's, again, another word to describe all 3 seasons, because, again, every single season has been nothing but injuries and adversity. Heart. That's a good one, because this team so far has shown the most heart out of all 3 of the teams that we've seen, 2017, 2018, and 2019. This team has definitely showed more, much more, especially with more adversity, with injuries and outside noises and locker room issues as well. A lot of heart, without a doubt. That's a good one. But I would say roller coaster, because I'll put all that together. It's just been a mix of emotions. You know, there's a couple of games back in October where I felt like this team should just wave the white flag, and it's the same thing as last year. I felt the exact same thing. Adversity, yeah. We've been hit with a lot of it, but definitely I feel like roller coaster is a good one. And then resilient, because, again, going to the heart thing, the heart topic, this team doesn't know how to quit. And it's like what Colin Cowherd and a lot of people have said in the media, the Eagles just look like they were made for this with the way that they play. Because they don't play, it's weird, they don't play good when we think they should, but then when we don't think they should, they start to surprise you and show off how tough they are, not just physically with all the injuries and everything like that, but mentally with how many substitutions and changes that they've made on the field, off the field, in the locker room, in the game plan itself. They've made so many tinkers and changes between Doug and Schwartz. With all the good and bad, especially with all the bad, you have to look at these two and you just got to applaud, because let's be real here. This team, both last year and this year, you wouldn't expect them at 6-7 last year, 5-7 this year, to make it to the playoffs. Last year we won a playoff game in Chicago. That's a tough place to win, especially with the team that they were last year. And then this year, to fend off the Cowboys at home, to beat your division in must-win playoff-like divisional games, to win your division, it's just remarkable. And again, I questioned a lot of Howie Roseman this year. I've questioned a lot of Doug Peterson. And I'll end the stream off on this. I've regained a lot of hope and a lot of trust in this coaching staff, in Doug Peterson, in Howie Roseman. I feel like these are the perfect coaches and staff to have for a team that, through all the adversity and everything, they managed to pull us together. Not just once, twice, second straight year. And yeah, with all the rats as well. Screw you, Orlando Scandrick, by the way. Y'all said we wouldn't make the playoffs. Your team couldn't make the playoffs. Again, props to the entire coaching staff. Doug and Jim Schwartz, just amazing. To just think about that. I'm struggling to speak right now. Just think about how we're in the playoffs right now. We are in the playoffs. We clinched the division. We won the division. Doesn't matter how ugly it was. They managed to pull us together at 5-7, at potentially the lowest point of our season after losing to Miami. And we're hosting a playoff game, and we have a good shot at winning that playoff game. Whoever is coming to Philly, they can't sleep on us. And whoever's coming to Philly, we're going to put up one hell of a fight. And I thank everybody who showed up and commented and celebrated with me on this victory. Second time in 3 years, the Eagles have the NFC East crown. Feels really good. Feels great to be back on top, rightfully so, right where we're supposed to be. Let's see what happens tonight, and I'll come back with you both tonight and tomorrow to talk about next week, who we play, and if I think we'll win. Fly, Eagles, fly. Have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy the new year, ladies and gentlemen, because we are still playing football this winter. It's going to be a fun time. I'll see you then. Fly, Eagles, fly. Peace out, guys.